because I'm not playing. I have no time to be down. Okay. I already had to be pregnant. Okay. I got now 5 kids in my house that I need to be caring for, plus literally working and being all a sane human being, right? So we didn't play about preparing this time. And before you ask, we're not talking about my hair in this video, okay? We're not talking about my hair in this video. We'll talk about my hair in another video, okay? I just had to say that. We have more important things to discuss right now. Woo! Oh my goodness. We had a baby. We had a whole baby. She's sleeping right there too. So let's just hope she stays asleep. And if she doesn't stay asleep, she gonna join in on the video. But I wanted to quickly pop in here because I realized that I've been sharing little clips about her birth, our 5th pregnancy, my 5th baby, how she was born, how she came into the world, but I hadn't actually sat down with y'all here and talked about it. So I need to make sure that we cover these bases, okay? Because I have been updating my life here on this YouTube since I was in college, okay? I'm talking about, I started YouTube in 2010, a little bit before that, but that's another story for another day. But this channel started in 2010. I was in college, okay? I was 19 years old in 2010. It is 2026. I am 35 years old. And it's insane how I have literally updated my life through boyfriends to breakups to new boyfriends to fiance to pregnant to marriage to pregnant and pregnant again and pregnant again and pregnant again. Literally, it's insane. And I just wanted to take this moment first to, if you have been here through the seasons, okay, through the ups and downs, okay, through all of the things, thank you. Thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for growing with me. You know, it's interesting how just in general, relationships change, right? Like your best friends in high school and in college may not be your best friends a decade later, right? And so many of you have been with me for a decade plus, like, okay, maybe even longer than that. If you've been here since MySpace, first off, if you hear kids screaming, just bear with me, okay? Bear with me. Anyway, if you've been here since MySpace, Bebo, Black Planet, okay, at this point we're family, okay? Because that's like 15 plus years, okay? But to just think that even a portion of you have been here that long is actually crazy. Like, that's crazy. Cause like we really know each other. And yeah, so I just want to thank you. And if you're newer here, like in the last few years, or this is your first video with me, child, welcome. Okay. Thank you for being here, because YouTube is a place where we actually get to know each other. We actually feel connected in a real way. And when I even feel like I feel just like disconnected or just like too overstimulated, honestly, from social media, I still pop up on here on this YouTube because it just feels like home. Our relationship has really gone through so many different seasons, and this is no different. So as I chat with you and just like explain how our lives have been, we are like 1 month postpartum at this point. I wanted to just acknowledge that first and then get into the chit chat, the yapping, okay? Because I'm going to go ahead and add in here the little mini vlog that I made of her birth, giving you a real look at what our home birth with her was like. So I'm going to play that here. If you already saw these on Instagram and here on YouTube and stuff like that, you can skip past this part and get to the yapping. But I wanted to play this here so that I can get everybody caught up in case you missed any of these, so that we can get into the next part. Ooh, oh my goodness. Oh, my water just broke. I am 37 weeks and a few days, maybe, according to my due date, but my midwife measured me 4 days ago. I was measuring like 40 weeks. So I'll believe my body and how I'm measuring. I've been around this rodeo multiple times. I know that if my water's breaking, then a baby's coming. So I haven't really had any strong contractions or anything so far. Let's have a baby. Trying to hype myself up. Child, I'm over here talking to y'all. I need to call my midwife. Let's have a baby. Mom. Update, it is about 4 o'clock and I'm chilling. I'm relaxing. I've had a few contractions. Oh, one is starting now. I ordered some food, y'all, because I'm hungry. I ordered some nachos, so I'm hoping that I can eat a little bit before it's go time for real, even though technically it's go time right now, but if I want to eat, ooh, that's a contraction. Okay, be back. All the way right here. Not a seat. I still can't believe that happened, okay? Every birth is different. Every labor and delivery experience is different. And having 5 babies come out of my body, I am always amazed how God can make every single one of them totally different. Such a new and just like mind-blowing experience, even though I'm planning for something that I've already done before, if that makes sense. Like, I already know I'm 5th baby. Like, I know how this go. I know how my body go, blah, blah, but there are still elements to it that are so unexpected. And one of the things that I prayed for when I first found out I was pregnant, if you guys remember, I shared a little bit of kind of like my initial thoughts of being pregnant. I was kind of all over the place, very honest about how I felt, like just in unknown territory for real. Like, it's one thing to have, 3 kids, 4 kids, but 5 kids, I never saw that for myself. Never, ever, 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 ever. So when I realized that I was pregnant again, I had honestly like guilt and shame about it because of so many reasons. And if you want to get into that, go watch that video. But since now having the baby and since now experiencing it all, like, one of the things that God told me was that I could have whatever I wanted from this pregnancy, from this birth experience. I just had to ask. I just needed to like ask him for it. It wasn't something unattainable for me, right? Because he desires good things for me more than I even desire them, right? Like, if they are good things, he's not trying to withhold them from me. And so I remember praying like, God, I want to experience joy in this pregnancy, in this birth from start to finish. And I did. I did. He also later told me that I was going to have a peaceful birth. And that's literally what happened. My by far most peaceful birth. And that's with kids running around, okay? Because all of my kids were there. Plus, one of the midwives that were attending to me had her 10-month-old child with her at my birth. And even with her having little fussy moments over there, it was beautiful. It was so peaceful. I wasn't scared or fearful at any point. I trusted my birth team. I trusted my husband. I trusted my body. And I trusted God above all else. I knew that he was going to give me what he told me he was going to give me, because he does not lie. Right. And so I was so ready mentally and emotionally for this birth, and spiritually, that I was actually more present in my body and in the experience than I ever had been before. So, let me explain a little bit. So, I think with my first baby, I had an epidural in the hospital, beautiful birth, but it was in a hospital setting. And I honestly appreciated it for what it was, because I needed that at that time. I didn't have a lot of support around me. I didn't have a doula or a midwife or anything. Like, my husband had a child before we met. So she's way older than our kids together, but it had been a decade since he had his first daughter. And so everything was really new. And yeah, I didn't really have a lot of like family, we didn't have any family living where we lived at the time. And so I really appreciated having like the nurses and the midwives, because the hospital that I actually gave birth at, I gave birth with midwives. They had a midwifery team as part of their labor and delivery. So that was my first experience with a midwife kind of at all in like a hospital setting. And a doula was actually the one who did our birthing classes. So before we gave birth, our hospital had us do these classes, and they were pretty extensive, honestly. And so I walked away from that experience really desiring to go natural and if I ever had more kids after my first baby. And so fast forward into 2021, when I have my second child, my son, it's COVID. There's all these restrictions on how you can labor in the hospitals now. You have to wear a mask. I was like, absolutely not. Like, I can't imagine only being able to have one person and having to literally wear a mask as I gave birth. What? We're not even gonna go there. Okay, so I was like, absolutely not. So I decided to go the home birth or the birth center route, and had a beautiful water birth experience with him. I've shared that on my YouTube channel. I'll link it for you if you want to watch it. I mean, changed my whole world, changed my whole perspective on birth, and absolutely loved it. And so for the next 3 babies, I had at home water births. And with each one, something new happened. With my third baby, first home birth, my midwife didn't make it. I literally had my third baby at home with me and just my husband. Not only that, but he was born with his cord wrapped around his neck, and my husband literally unwrapped him with ease, no panic, no stress, no fear, and he was good. Born, done. I'm walking with him in my arms, placenta still intact, okay? Lay in my bed, and my midwife gets there. So also posted about that. I'll link it as well. So if you are a birth vlog, birth story, like obsessed person, most of us moms are, definitely check those out. With my fourth baby, I had her here at home, and it was, I mean, so fast. She was 9 pounds, did not tear, okay? And she was a little hard to get out now. I had to look, I was doing some hip motions and hip moving and I was squatting and doing, because she was hard to get out, okay? She was 9 pounds. But she was beautiful. She was healthy. I was healthy. No complications whatsoever. And then for this baby, I was kind of nervous because my water broke before I went into labor with my last baby, my fourth, but with none of the others. So I was thinking for this one, like, is my water going to break? Am I going to know when I'm in labor? Because my Braxton Hicks are always pretty intense. But this time, for the last 2 to 3 weeks, my Braxton Hicks were going crazy. So I was just like, oh my God, like, first off, I need to keep this baby in me until I at least hit 37 weeks. My due date was always weird, okay? This 5th pregnancy was weird the whole time. I had like 3 sonograms because we never really knew when my due date was. And usually I give birth to my babies around 38, 39 weeks or so. With my second baby being an outlier, he was born at 41 weeks, which was like random, but also I'm like, was my due date off? I don't know. Okay. Anyway, so I was measuring ahead. Like, I was measuring like 40 weeks when I was 36 weeks. Crazy, right? Crazy. So my midwife was like, okay, let's figure out what's going on. Let's get an extra sono, because when I was 32 weeks, I was measuring 32 weeks. So anyway, long story short with that, I was going back and forth with my midwives, and we were just kind of being very like cautious because 5th baby, body just is real good at this point. So we were just praying that, you know, as long as I kept her in till 37 weeks, we were good. Because if you, in Texas, if you give birth before 37 weeks, you automatically have to go to the hospital. Even if you labor at home, even if you birth at home, you still have to call 911 and they take you to the hospital just to make sure you're healthy, just to make sure baby's healthy, all of that. So I was just like, Lord, please just let this baby stay with me till 37 weeks, according to my due date, right? Because the due date is a guesstimate, okay? It can be a day or 2 weeks off, right? So, and I was just always carrying like later. Like I felt like I was, you know, the more kids you have, the bigger you look, and the just all the things. Okay. So I felt the whole time that I was farther along than what I was showing, like on the sonos and stuff. Like my due date was the end of February, but I was like, ain't no way I'm making it to the end of February. Like I am having this baby probably about mid-February. That was my brain thinking. I had her February 3rd, okay, the first week of February. So I was like nervous, thinking like, okay, is my water gonna break? Is it not gonna break? And then I'm a be in labor, not realizing I'm in labor, and then the baby comes and it all happens too fast and I'm not prepared. All of that kind of worry. And nope, that's not what happened. My water broke. I woke up from a really long nap, which I should have known immediately because I had like a good 2.5 hour nap. And usually I wasn't sleeping that long because I was up because I had to pee or had you just, you know, you kind of tussling and, you know, rolling around and stuff that late in your pregnancy. And so I had a good 2.5 hour long nap. And I get up off the couch. And as soon as I lift myself up off the couch, my water breaks. And I'm like, oh, all right, let's go. It's time. So literally my water broke at like 3 in the afternoon, as you saw in those videos. And then by 7-ish p.m. that night, four-ish hours later, she was here. Emma Joy was born. Okay. And so, like I said a little while ago, like I felt the most present in this birth. And I say that with almost a grain of salt, but not a grain of salt, if that makes sense. So I was very much aware of like every stage my body was in. I knew when I was contracting, I knew when I was transitioning, I knew when it was time to push. Like I knew, but it also made me very aware of like, okay, can we get past this part? Can we get past, like I was so ready to see and meet my baby on this side of heaven. Okay. That I was just like so ready, to the almost where I had to like contain my own anxiousness and my own excitement and kind of like ready to be done with this part of me because done it enough times. I already know what's happening, you know? And so when I gave birth to her, one thing that was unexpected was she actually had a knot in her cord, where it's literally like tied up in a knot in her umbilical cord. And at first I was like, oh, what is this? And so it's kind of rare, but it's not like life-threatening or anything like that. It just means that she was twisting and turning at some point, you know, in her stay in my womb. And you have to keep an eye out for those things sometimes though, because if there's too many or there's other factors at play, can be something that, you know, could be risky. But luckily for us, there was no issues. Nothing was wrong with her. We just noticed it when she came out. And we didn't cut the cord immediately. We did delay cord cutting. She did have a minute before she actually started crying. So with all of my other babies, immediately after they come out, like they start crying. But with her, it took her a little bit, a few minutes to kind of like get adjusted to the world. And so we had to kind of like mess with her a little bit to like start crying. She was breathing, her eyes are open and everything, but she just wasn't crying. We want to hear that cry. We want that baby to be alert, right? And so the other thing that was unexpected with her was that I actually couldn't get her to latch. She was looking for the breast and trying to latch, but her mouth, so like obviously babies are pretty squished in the womb, right? And when they come out, they can like start growing and their limbs start to stretch out and all that kind of stuff. But I really felt like her jaw and her face was really tight. And so when she would try to latch, she wouldn't really open up her mouth big enough. And I have large nipples. Like I'm on that side. I'm on the gotta buy the bigger nipple size for like, you know, doing the pumps and stuff like that. And so I felt like her mouth was like really tight. She has a lip and a tongue tie. So we were, like, okay, might have to, work some things out. By the time that the midwives were leaving, she wasn't latched still. And I never experienced that before. The midwives left about maybe 3 hours or so after she's born, because they don't stay overnight. They wait until basically you have your first pee, to make sure everything's still good, and they clean you up and all that kind of stuff. But we couldn't get her to latch. And so my midwives walked me through just like how to nurse her with a syringe and the first 24 hours, which was worrisome for me because I never experienced that before. But I just knew, like, as long as I'm calm, my body's going to do what it's supposed to do. She's going to do what she's supposed to do. And whatever is in front of us, we will attack it with every bit of faith and bit of goodness in our minds, positivity in our hearts, to get this done. She will be fed. She will be healthy. She is a perfect child. Like, all that type of stuff. So it was a little hard for me to just like navigate that the first 24 hours. And so we're looking for specialists, lactation specialists, to see, potentially looking into getting her lip and tongue tie, treated, and what that would look like. All of my kids actually have some sort of tongue or lip tie, but we've never had to do anything about them because we've always gotten a good latch. So that's really what it comes down to, is like whether or not you can get the baby to latch well. If they're feeding well, then even if they do have a lip tie or tongue tie, most humans do, as long as it's not affecting their feeding and they're getting their birth weight back, then you don't really have to do anything. But we were watching it because she hadn't latched the first 24 hours. And by the next day, she did start latching, was still need a little bit of work. She wasn't able to latch for as long as she needed to get her feeding. So we were just latching a lot, which is, painful. That first week, I think, was honestly the thing I was dreading the most, that it was going to be really, really hard. And it was. I'm not going to lie to you. The afterbirth contractions about took me out, okay, because they get worse the more kids you have. And so I was taking, Motrin, Tylenol on rotation, taking a tincture called After Ease that helps you from a holistic perspective with pain relief. And so I was able to do After Ease, the tincture, on top of the over-the-counter medications that I was on. And so that definitely helped. And just trying to get this baby to latch. And eventually she did. And we kept working on it. It took us a few days to find a good rhythm, but she gained all her weight back, from birth, because babies will lose some of that weight in those first few days because their stomachs are very tiny. They're used to getting all of their nutrients and blood supply from the placenta. Placenta's no more. So it takes them a few days to get adjusted. And so by the time we had our visit with our midwife, she was like, she's looking good. She's latching good. I think y'all are good. And so I was going to see a lactation specialist about the lip and tongue tie, but I ended up not doing that, because she was good. And as far as my healing goes, I feel like I healed really fast. Like, I had some bleeding for the first 2 to 3 weeks, but that's normal. There was no out of the norm issues this time. I was really happy about that, even down to, might be TMI for some of y'all, but the hemorrhoids. Like, I had really bad hemorrhoids my last pregnancy and postpartum, and took forever for them to go away. But it ended up started to take this homeopathic medicine. I'll have to like put the name down below or put it on screen for y'all, because I hadn't heard of it before. I used this brand, the Boron brand, for a lot of things, but I didn't realize that they had like a hemorrhoid medicine. I started taking this. Oh my gosh, almost immediately within a day, my hemorrhoids were gone. And if they would like pop back out just because, I would take it again. So that was like a huge thing for me, because I had a lot of issues and pain with hemorrhoids last time. So I kind of was like looking out for that. And then as far as my mood, I think the mood that I've been, like, my moodiness was like the biggest thing for me this time. Definitely up and down a ton, all over the place. Like, whoa, okay. It was a lot. I feel like now I'm finally like stabilizing. I've also been really serious about my supplementation. That's also been a thing. You can't avoid how crazy your hormones crash after birth. You can't. There's nothing you can do to avoid that. But there are definitely things you can do to help. So for me, I started taking my postnatal supplement immediately, like a day after giving birth. I also started taking this inositol supplement. It's like a powder, and I add that to either my electrolyte drink for the day or into my coffee because it's flavorless. I started taking that because that's like a really good supplement for reproductive health, period, and like hormone balancing. So I've been taking that daily. I also kept taking my iron supplement to just like make sure I had enough in my stores, as well as what I needed to like give through breastfeeding because we are still nursing. I also have been taking magnesium. So I take about 300 to 400 milligrams a day of magnesium because that's also huge. With my last pregnancy, I also took a tincture called Rebalance from the same company that makes the After Ease. I just hadn't ordered it again this time because I was trying to see if I could just like fix it with like my supplementation instead of having to like have an external thing. But I'm about to order some more, okay? Because I have tried just like even like mocktails, like sleepy mocktails or just like calming mocktails and stuff like that. And they don't work. They don't work the way that my Rebalance works. So I'm going to order that again because I was taking Rebalance, the tincture. It's like a hormonal postpartum tincture for moodiness throughout, months and months of postpartum. Anytime I felt super, super overstimulated or just like out of whack, crying, just, all over the place, I got my little Rebalance, put it into some juice or some like iced tea or something and drank that. And when I say immediately feel better, you immediately feel better. All natural, nothing crazy. But yeah, so I'm definitely going to order that because like I said, I'm only like a month out. We're like 4, almost 5 weeks postpartum right now. So we're still fresh in it. Okay. We are not through it. We are in it currently. But as you can see, like I'm good. Like I feel like myself. I feel like now I'm finally kind of like balancing out. Like I said, the past week has been more relaxed than like the week before. The week before and the week before that, I was like crazy, scary. Okay. Delulu a little bit. Okay. But we're here. Thank God. There are certain parts of pregnancy, postpartum, you just can't avoid. It's just how our bodies are made, but you can't support yourself. And so that for me was huge. Going into this postpartum season was like, I prepared. Okay. I was serious about my postpartum support systems, whether that be physically making sure that my husband and my sister who like lives with us, she's lived with us for about 2 years now. And so them two together, child, they got the kids, they taking care of the kids, they taking care of the house, they're taking care of the food. Like I'm talking about cleaning everything. Okay. So that I could have that relaxed newborn bliss postpartum era. Okay. So physically making sure I'm taking care of there. Also with the home, I hired a cleaning crew, okay? Because that's one of the things, like, even in my late stage of pregnancy, like, I would look around my house and be like, but I can't say anything because my husband and my sister are doing the best that they can, and I appreciate their effort. So I'm not popping off about it to them, but I'm just mentally like, I'm so physically like tired. I'm so pregnant. I can't do what I want to do. But I'm just going to breathe it out. And when I get to postpartum, I will make sure we have something set up. So got the clinic crew set up. They come in every couple weeks, every few weeks. Okay. Because we need that. And I mentally prepared for that. I also mentally prepared and got my work team together. Okay. My management team is set with all my work things. I also got my editor. I have my assistant all set up and organized. I batch created a ton of content before I had the baby so that I could really breathe. And because for me, the most immediate help I need is not fresh postpartum. It's by week 6, month 3, month 6, where I start to really feel like, okay, I need some help. I need some, like, you know what I mean? Not just with me physically healing, but like just making my world work, right? And like work, home and kids and all the things, because I homeschool and I'm, still showing up in all these different ways, right? So one of the things that I prepared most in my pregnancy was for postpartum. And that was physically from a outside external things, but also internally. What supplements was I going to be on from, you know, immediately after giving birth to the first couple weeks? Then what am I going to be on from month, 2 to month 6? How am I going to shift all of that type of stuff? Because I'm not playing. I have no time to be down. Okay. I already had to be pregnant. Okay. I got now 5 kids in my house that I need to be caring for, plus literally working and being all a sane human being, right? So we didn't play about preparing this time. I'm really happy with the way that I prepared this time. Let me know if you all want more of an in-depth video of how I prepared, how I decided what supplements to take and all that kind of stuff. Let me know if you want a video about that, because I can go on and on and on about that, okay? On and on and on. But I won't bore you with all of that right in this video. But yeah, I took that seriously. And so now that we are a month in, I'm feeling like myself. I'm not rushing to move and groove, okay? Crazy enough though, get this. We have already had, my husband and I, 2 date nights. And we are 1 month postpartum. Cheers for us, because that is not something we made a priority in the last postpartums, okay? We might have had a date night maybe once or twice in like a 6 month or a year time frame at certain points of our marriage with the babies and all the things. But this time my husband said, we not playing, because not gonna lie to you, our like relationship, just being able to like connect intimately, emotionally, all that, we've been going through it a little bit. It has taken a toll on our marriage. Like we are constantly growing, constantly just like on as parents and people, but like within each other, like it's a lot. It's a lot to handle a new baby, adjusting our household, all the things that we're into. And so, one thing that we had to really like take a step back on recently has been just like making sure we have time for each other, that we're connecting, that we're communicating, and we're not like missing each other. Cause like we're with each other all day, every day, but it's constantly, talking about the kids, talking about what we're doing and kind of, but not really that set aside time to nurture our emotional state in our marriage and intimacy in that way, because we're not physically intimate right now, right? We're in our postpartum era. So yeah, so just like getting on the same page. And so we had a date night the other day, which was amazing. I'm so happy we did that, because our first date night was simply in the car with the baby in the car seat and us eating food in the car, fighting basically. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. I was a mess. It was like 2 weeks postpartum. Like I said, I was crazy, delulu, insane. My hormones were all over the place. So it was not the best date night we've ever had. Okay, it wasn't, but it was necessary because we needed it. So date night number 2, which was the other day, was amazing. It was just beautiful. It was baby slept in her car seat at the restaurant. We were sitting outside. It was a beautiful breeze, beautiful night, wonderful food. The vibes were there. It was amazing. It was everything it needed to be, to remind ourselves that like we still matter and we still love each other. We're still here. So that was amazing. But other than that, our postpartum era has been amazing so far. I started the kids back homeschooling last week. That's been really good. We don't take homeschool too seriously over here in this season. Okay. We are doing very basic stuff, reading, writing, knowing our names, knowing how to, I'm teaching my daughter how to write in cursive, because she does have a little bit of, I think, ADHD, maybe be a little dyslexic. She has a hard time writing her words and her letters in the right direction. And crazy enough, teaching her how to write in cursive, she has gotten it so much faster than writing in print, and she never messes up which direction to write her letters. Crazy, right? So now it's like I'm leaning into her writing in cursive and like allowing that to be the way that we write. We still write in print, but it is so less confusing for her. She's super creative though. She's always drawing. She's a little artist. She loves dance. She loves piano. That's another thing. We started little piano lessons. She's in dance. And yeah, so and got the boys into karate. That's been a new thing for us. We just started. So finding the kids little things that they love to do. We also take them, well, my husband takes them to a local farm where they learn how to deal with animals, and like they're learning more about how to like grow things with our garden. So like we are taking homeschool in a very experiential approach, not so much like sitting down for hours in a day and like doing curriculum. Like we don't do that. So it's very open, very experiential, very spontaneous, but it's been really good for the kids. So yeah, so we're going to continue doing that. I'm trying to think, did I leave anything else out? Because this is a pretty chatty life update, postpartum birth conversation. I think that's it. Yeah, I'm feeling very much myself. I feel like I have changed the least this time. I feel like with every other baby, I've had this whole like brain upgrade. I am a new person. Who am I moment? And I feel like with my last baby, I felt so complete. Like when I came out of having her, my fourth, I was like, oh wow, like I am who I'm supposed to be in this season, in this era, and beyond even. And having my fifth, I feel the same. Like I feel like, wow, I am who I am and who I'm supposed to be and who God made me to be. And this is like the real me in a way that I've never been. I don't know if that makes sense, but it makes sense in my brain. But it's almost like the person that I've been trying to become all these years has finally arrived. I'm going to get emotional because what just came to me is actually 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I wrote a devotional called Becoming Her. I chopped all my hair off. I was in such a different place, growing and really just entering into like exploring who God made me to be and exploring this version of me, and really being okay with saying, I'm not going to choose who I am anymore. I'm not going to like, build to bear my personality anymore like I did back in the day to like cope and be accepted and you know what I mean? But instead, I'm going to be fully open to who God has me to be and walking in that and surrendering to that in every way possible. So like the final step for me was like cutting all my hair off. And now I feel like full. I feel so sure. I feel like I became her. I feel like I've become her. And I'll always be becoming, right? Because I'm always going to grow, always going to learn. But I'm finally like, this is me. And I'm not confused. I'm not searching. I'm not looking around. I am totally here and unafraid and unashamed about where I'm at, who I am, and so excited about what God is going to do with me, but also my family, how he's going to use me to raise my kids and what they're going to be and who they're going to be, and my husband and just the people that we love that are in our lives, our family, our friends, like just so excited about this season and so grateful for how it's all come together. Like, what? Like, I just, God is so good. And I also cannot believe this baby has been asleep this whole time. I just nursed her and put her down before I got on camera, but I'm still like, wow, she actually let me like be here and talk to y'all. So let's not get used to it, but we're going to be grateful for it. Okay. Hope that if you are relating with me in any way, whether it be to where I was, where I'm at now, wherever you are in that spectrum, just trust God. The hard thing that you feel like you can't let go, but he's asking you to let go of, let it go. All you're doing is making space for something better and something that you're going to explore and discover but you just don't know it yet. And not knowing is scary, right? Not knowing is scary, but I promise you, I would have never picked my life the way it is today had I been shown it on paper 3 years ago. Because writing my life down on paper would not even have scratched the surface of how good and how incredible it has actually been. I wouldn't have had the imagination to comprehend my life now 3 years ago. Like, no. So the mind you have today is not the mind that you'll have tomorrow or in the future if you give it to God and you allow him to transform your heart and your mind. Like, you will be different. You will want different things, and everything that he has for you, he wants for you more than your greatest want. If you know, you know, okay? If you know, you know, tell people in the comments what I'm talking about. Tell them your testimony, okay? Tell the girls, okay? Tell the people down in the comments of how God has transformed you, what about this video even related for you, because we need to encourage each other and build each other's faith with our own testimonies, with our real lived experiences, so that we can continue on in believing that if God can do it for me, he can do it for you. Okay. I love y'all. Okay. Gotta go. I'm done. Bye.